For years, I was obsessed with finding the next Tesla. I spent so many hours hunting for that one magic stock, convinced I could beat the market and get rich. And yeah, I had a few wins here and there. But when I finally zoomed out and looked at decades of data, I saw a pretty shocking truth about my real chances of winning. And it made me completely rethink my entire strategy. So in this video, we're going to try and settle the big investing debate, picking individual stocks versus just buying an index fund. I'm going to show you the hard numbers that most people never see, the data that reveals your actual odds of success. The answer is probably going to surprise you, and it might just save you from years of expensive mistakes. Let's be real for a second. The whole idea of investing can be scary. You work hard for your money, and the thought of putting it into the stock market can feel like a massive gamble. It's like you're at a fork in the road. One path is doing nothing. You keep your money safe in a savings account. But we all know that's not actually safe, right? With inflation eating away at your buying power every single year, your cash is just silently losing value. It's a guaranteed slow loss. The other path is the stock market, which comes with its own set of fears. You hear horror stories about people losing their life savings overnight, and that fear paralyzes a lot of people into doing nothing. But here's the truth. Not investing is the biggest financial risk you can take. To build any kind of real, long-term wealth, you have to put your money to work. So the real question isn't if you should invest, but how. And that's where the big debate begins. Do you try to pick winning stocks, or do you take a totally different approach? Let's start with option 1, index funds. The legendary founder of Vanguard, Jack Bogle, had the perfect analogy. He said, "Don't look for the needle in the haystack, just buy the whole haystack." And an index fund does exactly that. Instead of trying to find the one or two companies that are about to blow up, you buy a fund that holds all the stocks in a big market index, like the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is just a list of the 500 biggest and most important companies in the US. So when you buy one share of an S&P 500 index fund, you instantly own a tiny piece of 500 different companies, giants like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, all in one super simple purchase. The power here is instant diversification. If one or two of those 500 companies has a dumpster fire of a year, it barely even nudges your overall portfolio. The failure of a few is cushioned by the success of the many. This built-in safety net is why index funds are often called the set-it-and-forget-it way to invest. But it gets better. Because these funds are passively managed, meaning there isn't a team of expensive analysts trading stocks all day, the fees are incredibly low. We're talking expense ratios as low as 0.03%, while some actively managed funds can charge 1% or even more. That difference might sound tiny, but over a few decades, that 1% fee can literally eat hundreds of thousands of dollars of your retirement money. Index funds are simple, diversified, cheap, and really tax efficient. They're basically designed to solve the anxiety that stops so many people from ever getting started. Okay, now let's talk about the other side, picking individual stocks. This is the sexy, high-stakes game you see in the movies. It's the dream of finding the next Amazon while it's still in a garage and turning a few grand into a fortune. And let's be clear, that dream is powerful for a reason. A $1,000 investment in Amazon back in 1997 would be worth millions today. You're just not going to get that kind of explosion from an index fund. This is the core appeal of stock picking. The chance for massive, life-changing returns. If you have the skill, the vision, or just plain dumb luck to pick the right company at the right time, you can absolutely crush the market. But this is a high-risk, high-reward game, and people often forget about the risk part. Picking winning stocks isn't about a gut feeling. It takes a ton of work. You have to be part accountant, part detective. You need to read financial statements, understand balance sheets, analyze entire industries, and constantly check in on a company's performance. It's not a one-and-done decision. It's a serious commitment. You're also taking on what's called concentration risk. With an index fund, your risk is spread out over 500 companies. But if you put your money into just 5 or 10 stocks, the failure of just one of them can wreck your entire portfolio. A single bad earnings report can wipe out 30% of a stock's value in a day. Are you really prepared for that? Do you have the stomach to not panic sell at the worst possible moment? For most people, the honest answer is no. So you've got the slow and steady haystack versus the high-risk, high-reward needle. For years, I truly believed that if I just worked hard enough, I could find those needles. But then I saw the data, and this is the truth that completely changed how I think about investing. Let's start with a bombshell. A huge study looked at nearly 30,000 individual stocks over a 96-year period and found that 58% of them actually lost money for shareholders. Let me repeat that. More than half of all stocks on the market historically made their investors poorer. Your odds of picking a stock at random and losing are better than your odds of winning. You might be thinking, okay, but I'll just stick to the big, safe companies in the S&P 500. Well, research has shown that even within the S&P 500, a significant portion of individual stocks underperform the index itself in any given year. The concentration of returns among a small number of top performers means most stocks don't drive the market's gains. The winners carry everyone else. So what about the pros? The highly paid fund managers on Wall Street whose entire job is to pick winners. Surely they can beat the market, right? The data here is even more brutal. Study after study, year after year, confirms the same thing. Somewhere between 80 and 95% of professional fund managers fail to beat their benchmark index like the S&P 500 over the long term. Think about that. These are people with teams of analysts and Ivy League degrees, and 9 out of 10 of them can't beat a simple, cheap index fund. This is exactly why Warren Buffett, the most successful stock picker in history, gives the same advice over and over. For most people, the best thing to do is own a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. In his own will, he's instructed that 90% of the money left for his wife be put into exactly that. When the greatest stock picker of all time tells you not to pick stocks, it's probably a good idea to listen. So, after all that, what's the verdict? For the vast majority of people watching, the answer is pretty clear. Index funds should be the heart and soul of your investment strategy. The data doesn't lie. Trying to beat the market by picking stocks is a loser's game for most of us. It's a game that even the pros lose all the time. By choosing a broad market index fund, you're trading the possibility of getting lucky for the probability of being successful. You get instant diversification, you keep your costs super low, you slash your stress levels, and you tap into the proven, long-term growth of the entire market, which has historically generated approximately 10% in average annual total returns over the long term, though past performance does not guarantee future results. Now, does this mean you can never buy an individual stock? Not necessarily, but it should definitely change how you think about it. If your financial house is in order, you've got an emergency fund, no crazy high-interest debt, and you're already consistently investing in your core index fund portfolio, then you could consider setting aside a small, speculative slice of your money for individual stocks. Think of it like a satellite strategy. Your index funds are the solid, reliable planet, and you can have a few tiny, speculative moons orbiting it. This should be no more than 5 to 10% of your total portfolio. And it absolutely must be money you are 100% emotionally prepared to lose. This isn't really investing, it's speculation, and you have to be honest with yourself about that. So, I want to hear from you. After seeing the data, what's your game plan? Are you team index fund? Team individual stocks? Or are you doing a mix of both? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this video helped you avoid a costly mistake, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Remember, the information in this video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Data cited is current as of December 2025. At the end of the day, building wealth isn't about hitting a home run. It's not about the thrill of the chase or having bragging rights about that one stock you picked that went to the moon. It's about consistency, discipline, and time. The data shows that trying to find the needle in the haystack is a gamble where the odds are seriously stacked against you. For most of us, the smarter, more reliable, and ultimately more profitable path is to just buy the entire haystack.